Welcome back to Helldivers 2, everybody. Welcome back to Democracy, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Warbonds, including the latest Warbond, and we're going to be giving them a rank. So I've done this recently with the last Warbond that we got, Masters of Ceremony, which was a pretty cool aesthetic Warbond, and it kind of has gotten better thanks to certain buffs, as well as we'll be talking about the other Warbonds because of that. So we'll be assigning each of these a rank, C tier being the lowest, S tier being the highest. I don't think any of these are any lower than C tier, because even if a Warbond isn't particularly strong for one reason or another, maybe it just doesn't have a whole lot of equipment, there still usually is something about it that makes it redeeming, or there can be a very fun playstyle that you can get out of it. So let's begin at the very first one, which is the Helldivers Mobilize. This one is the free Warbond, and because this one is free, it pretty much goes up into S tier. This one has the most pages out of any Warbond, coming in at 8, which is fantastic, and we'll just quickly go through these. So first up in the first page, armors vary depending on these, but they're generally pretty decent. Like, you have scout armors here, and I mean, with everything being free, there's no real downside. But we've got the frag grenade, which is pretty good. You get a lot of these. They're really good for running missions quickly if you just want to blow up stuff, so that's nice. Other than that, they're a little bit finicky and they can hurt you, so be careful of them. Punisher shotgun, I think, is the most underrated shotgun in the game, in my opinion. It is really good, especially since the new upgrade system came out, where you can put like a full choke on this. It staggers just about everything, if not outright kills just about everything, at least anything that you could hurt with medium armor. Against like bots, this one is weaker, but against bugs and squids, this one is extremely powerful. A second tier, we have like the P19 Redeemer, which will probably replace the starting pistol, although the starting pistol did get buffed recently. I haven't played around with it too much, but the Redeemer is pretty good for a secondary, as you can just spray it out at close range. Diligence got way better thanks to the weapon upgrade system too. This one is an absolute monster on bot missions. You can just hit them in the head and kill them super easily. You can also spam it really fast too. So this one has gotten much better over time. In the third page, we've got like the Hellpod optimization. This one is a fantastic Warbond. It's such a nice quality of life. Your teammates will love you for having this. It is really nice to be coming back with like full meds, full bullets, full grenades. We got the Defender submachine gun. I haven't used it too much since the weapon update system, but it's still a decent one. It has like no recoil and it's one-handed, so you can use it with shields, which is pretty cool. In page 4, we've got the Vitality Booster, probably the best booster in the game in my opinion, making you tankier, making it so you don't bleed, stacking it with other bonuses because it's always percentage based and just keep stacking is really, really good. We have the Breaker Shotgun, which has gotten better. It was always a pretty good shotgun, did good damage, but now with the weapon upgrade system where you can have it have like a choke on there and smaller mags so you can spam it out and not have to worry about dumping the magazines is really nice. So Breaker is pretty good in the moment. We've got like the impact grenades, which are very good grenades still. They work pretty well against everything. They're very simple, but you just toss them directly at something. So if you want to throw baseballs at something, take this. We've also got the Scythe. Scythe has gotten better too since the weapon upgrade system. It was already pretty good. It was kind of better, I think, a couple patches ago when it was bugged and you could have infinite ammo with it. That was a bit too strong, but still really good weapon. Very good against bots, particularly because you can just point it at their head and hold it on them. It can be good against bugs and squids, though, if you get enough distance to use it. Page 6, we also got the UAV Recon Booster. Okay booster, not really one of my favorites. I don't usually play stealthy, so I'm not using it very much, but good if you like that playstyle. The Liberator Penetrator has gotten better since the updates as well. It's pretty nice once you have like some recoil reduction on it. I find that's pretty good, and swap out the sight, then it's really nice. It's particularly good against most enemies. I find it probably best against bots and squids. Squids, you can just bully basically everything with it. Page 7, Stamina Booster is crazy. This one is one of the best boosters as well in the game. Gives you extra stamina, extra move speed, which it doesn't tell you, but it does, as well as faster stamina regen. All of that's really nice. Counter Diligence is also really good. The regular Diligence is quite crazy at the moment. This one can potentially be better, or at least this one can be more forgiving, since this one doesn't hold as many rounds, but it still has like the same rate of fire, but it has medium armor pen and a little bit more damage. Page 8, you got the Smokes, which are okay. They're probably the best version of Smoke, but Smoke just sadly isn't that great at the moment. They're decent against bots though. And then you got the Slugger. Slugger's pretty strong, especially against the bots and the squids. Kind of a rougher sell against the bugs. But basically, it's the Punisher. It fires out slugs, and it does really high damage. It has medium armor pen. Sadly, they nerfed it and took away its ability to open up crates at one point. We got the Muscle Enhancement, another fantastic booster. It's really nice on any sort of like snow or desert mission when there's those storms that kick up. then at least you can move faster. This also helps against every slow effect, so that's pretty good. The Breaker Spray and Pray has gotten better since the update as well, since you can take like the annoying duckbill off of it and put a full choke on it, and you could also take the drum mag off it and put it with a smaller mag. I find it's actually pretty good for spamming down the smaller enemies then. And then for our page 10, we have the increased reinforcements budget, which is probably one of the worst boosters in the game. This gives you one more Helldiver per every Helldiver that you have in the game, so you can have up to 4, which is kind of cool, but usually it doesn't matter. Those extra 4 guys likely won't change anything. If the mission is going bad, you might just end up losing the mission slower, so that's not great. And if the mission's going good, then you're probably not going to use this one, so not a great booster. And then we also have the Plas Scorcher here, which is really good. The Plas Scorcher has pretty much always been good. With the latest update, it's still kind of nice because you can swap out whatever sight you'd like on it. But this thing is really, really strong against basically anything. The only kind of problem this one has is that you can run through ammo with it really quickly. So yeah, Helldivers Mobilize is absolutely S tier. I mean, it's free. You got a ton of really good stuff in it. You got arguably some of the best stuff in it too, especially when it comes to boosters. So that's really nice. And even if you're just playing completely for free, then you're still going to have like a really good time in Helldivers, I think, just because of this Warbond. I do kind of wish they would add more free Warbonds into the game because I think that would be really, really cool. Up next, we have Steel Veterans, the first Warbond that was added to the game. And this one I would say is between like an A and an S tier. So this one is very, very good as well. This one's only 3 pages. From now on, they're all just going to be like 3 pages. So let's go over this. Senator, fantastic secondary, does really high damage, has heavy armor pen on it, which is really good. It also has a speed loader when it's fully empty. Most of the armors in this, actually I think all the armors in this, are servo assisted, so you throw things further. That's kind of good. Then we've got the Concussive Liberator, which did get better thanks to the different updates. It's more of a stunning weapon, and right now stun weapons are sort of bugged. Stuns in general are bugged. So the Liberator Concussive has gotten a little bit better, as well as being able to swap out certain things on it is pretty nice. In the second page, we've got the Incendiary Grenade, which is pretty good. Works as like a Molotov, works really well against bugs and squids, works okay against bots. Then we also have the Breaker Incendiary. This one used to be really strong. It was probably one of the best primary weapons in the game. Then they kind of nerfed it, but thanks to the new weapon upgrade system, it has came back quite a bit. It's still very good. It's pretty much the Breaker Spray and Pray, but it's firing out Dragon's Breath, and it's really good on bug and squid missions. Not so great on bot missions, though, in my opinion. It can still work against them, but once you get like the smaller magazines on this, I find that to be a little bit better, as well as like the tighter choke. For the third page, we got Flexible Reinforcement Budget. This one's pretty terrible too. You get faster guys to come back in once you've already lost all your guys for a mission. Doesn't help you most of the time. Usually it'd be better to take pretty much any other booster than this one. This one's one of the worst boosters. You do have the Dominator here though, which is fantastic. This one is very, very similar to the Slugger, but instead of being like a pump action shotgun, this one's a semi-auto rifle, I guess. More like bolter gun. It feels very powerful. It does really high damage. You can spam it out pretty quickly. Ever since the update, you can put a lot more things that give it better ergonomics, and it just feels a whole lot better. So Dominator's really good too. Next up is Cutting Edge, which Cutting Edge I would probably say is like around a B tier, maybe an A tier Warbond, depending on how much you like energy weapons. Overall, for me, I'd probably lean more to like a B tier though. For the page 1, we've got the Localized Confusion. A booster that generally doesn't do very much. It sounds like it could do a lot, but in practical like use, it rarely does anything, and it has a fairly complex way of working, so most of the time you just don't get very much value from it. I know I'm going to get comments with people saying that I don't understand this, which is fair. I don't fully understand the Localized Confusion. But at the same time, whenever I've taken it, I've noticed basically no difference between it and taking anything else, so I'd probably take anything else. So yeah, maybe it would be more useful if you're going with like stealthy options. I don't play stealth though. I pretty much always go loud. Either way, we've got the Sickle here. Sickle's pretty good. This one is probably one of the best assault rifles in the game, and with the new update, it's kind of even better based on like whatever you want to put on it. So that's pretty good. You essentially have infinite ammo with this, and it doesn't overheat very quickly. So this one is probably one of my favorite energy weapons. The Sickle is really nice. We also have electricity armor in this, which is super niche at the moment. There's just not a whole lot of things that can do electricity, especially electricity to you. That's mostly either other players like the Blitzer, or it's like the electric towers. Or it might be even some of the Illuminate stuff. But the Illuminate stuff will still either kill you very quickly or does basically nothing. So electricity armor is not really a huge selling point of this Warbond. Flashbangs are pretty good. Like I said, stuns are bugs. The flashbangs not so much though, because it's based on how much like the stun effect works. and with the flashbangs, it's almost guaranteed on just about everything, with the exception of like Titans and other big enemies. Can be pretty useful though. They're also very safe to be throwing near teammates, so if you find yourself blowing up teammates with your grenades, maybe go with flashbangs. The only problems with these is that you can't close up tunnels, so that's kind of a bummer. We also have the Plasma Punisher. This one's really good. This one has pretty much always been good. It's very similar to the regular Punisher, just you reload the entire magazine at once. Fires more like a grenade launcher than a shotgun, but can do a lot of damage. It's particularly good against like bots and bugs, I find. It's still decent against squids, but I find it's a little bit better against the other two. And then page 3, we've got the Las Dagger, which is a pretty good secondary. This one essentially has infinite ammo. It's pretty much the Scythe, but it's handheld. It will overheat quicker, but that's not such a big deal, and with it having pretty much infinite ammo, you can also use it just to like blow up mines outside of compounds, which is really, really good. So not a bad secondary at all, not as strong as it used to be when it was bugged, and you can have infinite ammo with it as well. And then we also got the Arc Blitzer here, which is a pretty powerful shotgun, or shotgun type weapon. It's not really a shotgun as it's an electric weapon. Similar to the Arc Thrower, throws out electricity that can bounce to other nearby enemies or allies, does pretty good damage. It has infinite ammo, but there is a time in between shooting, so you have to fire it, and then it's pretty much a slow pump, and then you get to fire it once again. Pretty strong weapon. A lot of people really, really love this weapon. I feel like it's a little bit overrated. I think it's still really good, and it can be really nice for stun locking stuff. It's just sometimes against the bigger enemies, it's like, yeah, I can stun lock it to death, but it takes me 3 or 4 times as long as it should to kill the enemy. And I'd rather just run through the bullets to kill that enemy and continue onward, because I'm probably going to find more bullets or be able to call in a resupply or die before then, where the Arc Blitzer just sometimes feels like it slows down the actual time to kill a bit for me. So I don't use it a whole ton, and sadly with the weapon updates, it didn't get anything crazy. It's pretty much just sights, which you don't need any sights on this. It's just throwing out electricity in front of you, and it's basically a shotgun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this one get some more updates in the future, though. Next, we have Democratic Detonation. This one I would say is absolutely S tier. It is one of the best Warbonds, if not the best Warbond for new players. It is crazy how much good stuff you get in this. The armor is varied. You get quite a few different types of armor in here, whether it be engineering kits, or I think the last one is fortified, so explosive resistance. Yeah, so those ones are fantastic. You also have like the thermite grenade, probably one of the best grenades in the game. You can stick it to big enemies and kill them very quickly. You can throw it onto buildings and blow them up. That's really good. The Adjudicator is probably one of the best assault rifles at the moment. It has medium armor pen, high damage, good rate of fire. Just give it some recoil reduction, and it's really easy to hold on target, so that's really nice. Page 2, we've got the Expert Extraction Pilot. Pretty bad booster, not really that useful, pretty much just used to get out of missions quicker. Only kind of useful if you plan on speed running for like samples, and that's about it. We have the Eruptor, which got buffed heavily in the last, not in the last update, the update previous to this one, where you can give it much better ergonomics. It has better ergonomics by default. It has a faster rate of fire than it used to, since you can cycle the bolt a lot quicker, which is great. And if you put like the angled foregrip on here and the iron sights on there, it makes for a really good sniper rifle for taking out just about everything. Yeah, the only kind of problem is you don't want to be using it at close range because the explosive rounds can hurt you, but it does have explosive rounds, so it can close up bug tunnels and bot factories and stuff. That's really nice. And then in tier 3, we've got the grenade pistol, probably one of the best secondaries in the game. It's super useful with basically every build. You can close up bot factories, bug tunnels, luminate ships, whatever it might be. It works pretty well against crowds, and it works pretty well against single targets. It's pretty forgiving, and you can just slap it onto any build. And then we also got the crossbow, arguably one of the best primary weapons in the game. Does really high damage. It's one-handed, so you can use it with a shield. You can also close up pretty much everything that you could with the Eruptor with this, and it also reloads fairly quickly too. So it's very, very powerful at the moment. Sadly, it didn't get any like crazy changes. I do kind of want to see this one get like different arrow types. I think that would be really cool. I don't know if they're going to do that. Next, we got Polar Patriots, which would be another one that I would say is probably A or S tier. It is really good at the moment, and it has just kind of gotten better over time because of the different updates. So the armors here are kind of a mix of different things, where you got like servo assisted, you've got the fortified once again, and you've also got the Scout. So if you like those armors, that's cool. They're in other Warbonds though too. I think they're all in the basic Warbond as well, so you don't even really need them. But some of the weapons you get in here are pretty cool. We got Motivational Shocks as a booster, which is okay. It's basically worse than Muscle Enhancement though, so you can stack them if you'd like, but this one isn't a huge selling point. We've got the Tenderizer here, which is a really good assault rifle. Does the highest amount of damage out of any of the assault rifles at the moment. It does have light armor pen on it. It also looks the most like a Starship Troopers assault rifle, so that's pretty cool. Works really well against like bugs and squids. Can work decently well against bots though too. Then on page 2, we've got the Pulverizer. Pretty good submachine gun. It's gotten better thanks to the stun chance being kind of bugged at the moment, so that's good, at least for it at the moment. It's still not bad if you want to take it with like a riot shield and play kind of a supportive role. It's actually pretty decent with that, and thanks to the new weapon upgrade system, you can give it like a helical magazine. We also got the Incendiary Impact Grenade, which is pretty good. It's pretty much the same as the regular impact grenade, just less damage on the actual explosive, but it does fire damage over time, so it's better towards crowds. And then in page 3, we got the Purifier, one of the best rifles in the game. It is really, really powerful at the moment. It can one-shot so many enemies, at least with the charged up shots. Even with regular shots, it still does pretty high damage. Like, worst case scenario is you're getting a pretty solid, like above average semi-automatic rifle. So it's not as accurate as some of the DMRs, but it's pretty much just as powerful as them. And best case scenario, you're getting like a pretty powerful splash damage sniper rifle. So that's really nice. And then we also have the P113 Verdict. This is the Deagle. At least that's what I call it. It reminds me most of a Deagle. And this one just does pretty good damage. It's really good to slap on any build. Has medium armor pen, high damage. You can spam it out fast. Holds a lot of mags. It's just really, really good. So, yeah, this Warbond is also very nice for just overall quality. Then we got Viper Commandos. And Viper Commandos has kind of gotten better thanks to the different upgrades, specifically with the rifle. The rifle is really, really good at the moment. Viper Commandos, I'd probably put on like the B to C tier range, though, just because you don't get a whole lot with it. So in this one, we've got the Peak Physique Armor, which is pretty good. It is a little bit niche because it's mostly for melee, or at least it benefits melee the most. However, it's also really good for big guns. If you like the heavy machine gun, Peak Physique is fantastic since it just makes it so you can move the gun a little bit easier. It works for some of the other weapons like the autocannon like that too. So any weapon that you find maybe a little bit sluggish, try it out with Peak Physique. You'll probably have some pretty good results thanks to that. It's also got a really sick helmet in it. This is one of the best helmets in the game in my opinion, at least in terms of looks. Then we also have the Liberator Carbine, which has affectionately been nicknamed as the Stalwart recently, because with all the different upgrades you can get, it's basically the same as a Stalwart machine gun that counts as a special weapon, just smaller. It doesn't have as big a magazine, but you can put a drum mag on this, make it so that it has like no recoil whatsoever, and it's really good. The only problem this one kind of had before the upgrade system is that it was a little bit hard to control. It was still very, very strong at close range, but now, since you can put like a vertical foregrip on this, and you can put a compensator or the flash hider on the front of it, like, you don't have too much recoil, and that's really good for a weapon like this. It also has a very fast reload speed too. Page 2, we've got the Bushwhacker Shotgun. This one is a fantastic secondary weapon for at least bugs and squids. It's not so great against bots, but this does as much damage as the Punisher Shotgun per shot, which is quite a lot. It's actually got very tight spread for a sawed-off shotgun too. You can use it at surprisingly long range, which is nice. And you can one-shot like stalkers with this. You can one-shot most bugs with this, honestly. Most squids as well, you can one-shot with it. And if not, it has a lot of stagger on it, so they'll be knocked back. So Bushwhacker's pretty good. And then the last page, we've got like the throwing knives, which are probably the worst grenade in the game, or worst throwable in the game. You get a ton of these, you get 20 of them, or 22 if you're running engineering kit, but they just don't do very much damage. You can't close up tunnels with them. I really wish like Peak Physique would give these more damage when you throw them or something like that, or even like servo assisted would get you more damage when you throw them. Maybe that would make them a bit better, but right now they're probably the worst grenade in the game. They're very fun though. And then we also have the Experimental Infusion. This one is probably one of the best boosters in the game, though. You take this, whenever you take a syringe, you have your screen freak out. Well, you get better vibrance, I guess. Sometimes it's worse on certain maps. It's harder to see then. As well as you get, like, bonus damage. You have more sway, though, when you're shooting, but Experimental Infusion's really good. And then we got Freedom's Flame. Freedom's Flame is the Fire Warbond. This one's another one that I would probably put at, like, the B to C tier range in terms of Warbonds, because I feel like most players aren't really going to like this, because I feel like most players don't use fire weapons that much. That being said, though, if you love fire weapons, this one's probably a must-have, because this one has some really cool fire weapons in it. So on the first page, we've got like the Cookout. The Cookout is really good at the moment, where this one, it's just the Punisher, but it has Dragon's Breath. It's pretty much a top-tier pick against bugs. Works okay against bots, works pretty well against squids too. It's very good. Then we've got the Torture, which is pretty much a mini flamethrower, and that one did get buffed recently, which is cool. It has a much longer burn time than what it did previously, so you get more DPS and more damage just flat out from the fire. The fire also pretty much ignores all armors. Well, not all armors, but it has heavy armor pen on it. So if you like using the flamethrower, this one's really, really good. All the armors in here give you like fire resist as well, so that's nice. If you don't have armors for that, then you can take them from here. And then you also got like the Firebomb Hell Pods, probably the worst booster in the game. These ones usually cause more damage than they do good, although you can stack them with this new stun booster, the stun pods from the latest Warbond, which it seems like the stun takes precedent over the fire, funny enough. So that's probably not really the best. But the Firebomb Hell Pods, they're usually not good. Don't take them. Most of the time, you're just going to end up killing yourself or teammates. And then we got the Crisper Pistol. This one's pretty good, too. This one is a mini flamethrower. It's just your secondary. Burns through enemies really quickly. It does a lot of damage to bugs and squids. Can do a lot of damage to bots, too, but it's more difficult to get within close range of them. But yeah, the Crisper can also be a really, really good secondary. Then we have Chemical Agents, which is also kind of in a similar spot to like Freedom's Flame, where this one is, again, another more niche one. If you really like the chemical stuff, you might really enjoy this. This is another one that I would say is like within the C to B tier range. The armor you get in here is all of the advanced filtration, which gives you 80% gas resist. The only thing that can really do gas damage at the moment is yourself and other Helldivers, so this is just for friendly fire damage, and gas usually isn't that big of a deal since it doesn't deal tons of damage. You usually have enough of time to react, assuming that you weren't knocked down in the gas, in which case then that could be bad. Gas Grenade is really good. It's probably one of the best grenades in the game. It's really good against bugs and squids. It's okay against bots too, and it can close up tunnels, weirdly enough. I don't know why this one can, but things like the smokes can't. Either way, Gas Grenade is definitely one of the high points of this Warbond. We also have the Sterilizer, which is kind of awkward. I find this one just weird. It's pretty much the same as like the Flamethrower, just doesn't always kill. It usually causes enemies to wander off and start attacking one another, but sometimes they can still attack you. I know some people absolutely love it, but it's just not one of those like stratagems for me at the moment. We also got the Guard Dog, which does the same thing. This one's really good against bugs, pretty decent against squids. Not very useful against bots though. It doesn't really help too much there. This one can gas you and your teammates. That's not super common to happen though, and it's still not going to do tons of damage, so even then it's not that big of a deal. It can be kind of fun to run this with the advanced filtration, just run like a full poison setup though. That's not bad. And then we also have the Stim Pistol. This one is purely meant for multiplayer. This can give stims to teammates. It doesn't have a lock-on feature though, which would be really cool if it did. It has the same reload as like the Senator 2, where it does have a speed loader of syringes, which is kind of weird, but also kind of cool. And it can actually be really, really nice. It's very good in a team setting. In solo, it's not going to do anything. So if you play solo a lot, this Warbond may not be a huge seller for you outside of like the Gas Grenade. Then we got Truth Enforcers. This is one that I'd probably put up into S tier too, because this one has just been steadily getting better as time went on. So this one is a fantastic Warbond with a lot of decent stuff in it. You got Dead Sprint, which is an okay booster. You can run faster, and you can just keep running, but it'll cost health once you run out of stamina. It won't kill you though, so that's kind of cool. You also got the Halt, probably one of the best shotguns in the game. It has flashbangs and flechettes in it, does a lot of damage, can stun enemies, it can one-shot and stun like chargers. It's not going to one-shot and kill them, but if you hit them with a stun in the face, it will stun lock them, so you can walk around the side and hit them with the flechettes. It also, interestingly enough, reloads each tube individually, so you'll have like a tube of flashbangs and a tube of flechette rounds. Page 2, we've got the Reprimand, probably the best submachine gun in the game at the moment, arguably better than most of their rifles. Kind of. I don't know. The Reprimand's in a really weird spot at the moment. It does really high damage. It's got medium armor pen on it. If you throw on like the foregrip and the compensator on this, or even just the flash hider, it has like no recoil. And even though it shoots slower than the other submachine guns, it hits really, really hard. It's very powerful against the bots right now. It's really powerful against pretty much everything at the moment, which is kind of funny because this one, not too long ago when I was ranking primary weapons, I thought this one was pretty good. It was kind of hard to control, but I thought it was good, and most people vehemently disagreed with me because it bounced around too much for him, and now it doesn't bounce around, so it's very powerful. We also got the Unflinching armor, which just recently got buffed to where it has better armor rating. The Unflinching itself got buffed from 95% to 100%, and it also got like a little bit of scout thrown on there. So Unflinching is actually pretty decent now. Still not probably like a top tier pick for things, but it's good now. And then we also got Plasma Loyalist here, which is a fantastic little pistol. This one is pretty much the same as the Purifier, just it's in handheld form. Does good damage. It's pretty much on par with like the Verdict in terms of damage per shot. Verdict does hold more shots and it reloads faster, and it has more magazines overall, but you can charge this one up and hit multiple enemies with it and do more damage per shot. So another really good secondary weapon. Urban Legends I'd probably put within like the B to A tier range. For Warbonds, it's pretty decent, but it's mostly focused around different stratagems. and that can be kind of nice. It can be a little bit disappointing, though, if you wanted some other weapons. So we've got the directional shield, which is kind of iffy. It's really not that great at the moment, because something like the ballistic shield I just find to be a little bit more useful, or like the shield generator backpack. I think those ones are a little bit more useful and do a very similar job to the directional shield. We also have the stun lance, which is probably the best melee weapon in the game at the moment. It has pretty long reach, it can stun, it does good damage, so if you want to go with melee, then this can be a very tempting option. The second page, we've got the armed resupply pod. Very fun one, very good on like defend area missions. Not so great on other missions, but it's still pretty cute. We also got the flame turret here, which is a really good turret. It kills small enemies very quickly. It's really good on bugs and squids. It's not the best on bots, because they'll probably just shoot it to death. But for the other ones, it can kill them very, very quickly. It can also kill you really quick, too, so be careful of that. We also have the different armors in here with the Siege Ready, which gives you better reload speed and more ammo for every weapon. Even though it says primary weapons, it counts for every weapon, including special weapons. So that is probably one of the best armor passives in the game. And then in the page 3, we got the Grandpa Chair. This one is absolutely devastating. It is probably the only real weapon that can take out the Leviathans on the latest Illuminate missions, at least consistently. It can do that. You can take out big enemies really quickly on defend the area missions. You can just run this. If your teammates are running this, you're going to have a really easy time with those. Even on the very highest difficulty, it is pretty much just a point-and-click adventure at that point. So yeah, this one's got a lot of really good stuff in it. Then we got Servants of Freedom. This one's another one that I'd probably put in like the B to A tier range. We don't get a whole lot of stuff in this, but what you do get can be pretty good. So we've got the Integrated Explosives Armor, which did get buffed recently. You still explode whenever you die, which is kind of funny, but you also have more grenades, so it did get better. That is something that is cool. Otherwise, this armor was more of a meme. Now I think it's actually not that bad. Then we also have like the Double-Edged Sickle, probably one of the best assault rifle like weapons in the game, because this one can have all the way up to heavy armor pen. If you're wearing it with fire armor and you have like the health booster, especially if you have a teammate behind you with a medic pistol, you're basically just a walking sentry. Like, you just do so much damage, can rip through just about anything, and you're more using this like a light machine gun. Just you're on fire and constantly screaming. But still very, very powerful. With the latest update for like weapon upgrades, it didn't really get anything way crazy. It was already really strong though, so that's nice. Page 2, we got the Ultimatum. This one did get nerfed, so it's not as strong as it used to be, where it can knock out entire buildings. It can still do that for certain buildings, just not as many buildings as it used to. This one, you only get 1 shot or 2 shots with it, regardless of how you're building, so you don't get very many shots with it. It does a ton of damage. It has a very fast drop though. This is pretty much the same as throwing like the precision strike that you get at level 1, but you lob it with the grenade, so can be really powerful. It's a little bit more niche now that it can't knock out as many things, but it's still quite good. Page 3, we've got the Seeker Grenades, which are still sort of bugged, at least in terms of the amount of things that it says that you killed, which is kind of funny if you want to rush like the eliminate the horde missions, because it counts it strange. At least that's what I've heard. I haven't actually tried that. But basically, a sneaker grenade, you throw this out, it hovers around you. If there's enemies nearby, it flies towards them and tries to kill them. It's not always that reliable, and if an enemy is really close, or there's an enemy that was closer than you thought when you threw this out, it might circle around and hit near you, or hit you and kill you, in which case that's a little bit annoying. And then you also got the portable Hellbomb backpack, one of the funnest backpacks in the game. You can just take this wherever you need to go. It's really good. It kind of got better since the Ultimatum got nerfed though, because it can still knock out all the same structures as a regular Hell Bomb. You can just hand deliver it to them. You can also just drop it off. You don't have to be holding onto it when it blows up. Then we got Masters of Ceremony, another one that I'd probably put in like the B to C tier range of Warbonds. This one is not way crazy at the moment, even though some of the stuff did get buffed, like the Amendment got buffed recently, which is good, and the armors got buffed too, which is nice. So with this one, you get the faster reload speed, which is good, as well as the limb damage, which is kind of okay, and you also get increased melee damage. Not as much as like peak physique, but it does kind of fit for something like the Amendment, where you have the bayonet on it, and the Amendment's actually really good. Like, I find this weapon to be really, really useful. The DPS from this thing is pretty good, and as long as you're going for weak spots, like the Amendment is actually very, very powerful. Plus, even if you run out of bullets, you still have the bayonet on this, so it works as an okay spear. Page 2, we got the sword. The sword's kind of cool. It's the same as the axe. In my opinion, it looks a bit cooler than the tomahawk, but it's pretty much the same, does the same damage, works really well against hordes, but that's about it. And then page 3, we got like the one true flag. Probably the worst weapon stratagem in the game. Definitely the worst weapon stratagem in the game, honestly. This one, it's the same as the stun lance in every way. It just takes up your special weapon slot. You can wave it around, though, which is kind of cool. And you can plant it in the ground, which is also pretty cool. But that's about it. It's just there for style points. It's not really there for actually, like, being a crazy weapon. Pretty much all the other special weapons are better than this. Even things like the double barrel and the shovel that you just find laying around on the maps are kind of better than this. Then we have the sample scanner. This one's actually pretty good if you don't have all the samples. That's nice. If you want to pick them up, go for it. And then we also have the pyrotechnic. This one is more like fireworks. It sprays out a bunch of fire. It's kind of like a Molotov, but it's got a small explosion radius. Honestly, it's not that crazy. It's not way great, but it's okay enough. It's a grenade that I rarely see anymore. Oh, whoop, I missed Borderline Justice. Hang on, let's go back to the cowboy one real quick. Alright, so Cowboy 1, we've got some cowboy gear where we've got the new Gunslinger armor. Really cool passive, makes all your sidearms do more damage. I really like that. We've got the lever action, really good. Really good against bots. Pretty good against bugs and squids too. Well, more squids and bots than bugs. Bugs can overwhelm you really quickly, but this one does really high damage. I love all the changes that they got it. I mean, we got a lever action in the game, and I love lever actions, so yeah, Deadeye is really cool. We got the Las Talon, probably one of the best secondaries at the moment, where it's got medium armor pen, it's got high damage, has potentially infinite ammo, which is really good. You can spam this one out pretty fast, and reload's a little bit slow if you do overheat it, though. So kind of keep that in mind. But if you're just firing this 1 or 2 shots at a time and then putting it away, like the Talon's going to be fantastic for fighting off most things. Then in Tier 3, we got the Dynamite. Basically, you never see Dynamite anymore. It was pretty cool when it first came out. It does have a big explosion radius, which is pretty cool, and it does do a lot of damage. Surprisingly more than a lot of other grenades do. But still a little bit slow. You can set the timer on this as well. You can set it all the way up to like 60 seconds. You probably don't want that. Just set it to the 5-second fuse. That's the best. We also have the Hover Pack, which is fantastic for bugs and squid missions. Generally speaking, squid missions. And really bad on bots. On bots, it usually just makes you a huge target and all the bots shoot you down. It's not that great. On bugs and squids, though, if there's only melee units, they can't fight back, and it's really easy to take down things. It's also really good in combination with the grenade launcher or the grenade pistol or the crossbow for closing up like bug tunnels. And then you also have the sample extricator, which just gets you more samples overall, potentially. So that one's good too if you need samples. If you don't need samples, then this one's not so great. I didn't say what I put this one. This one I'd probably throw in like a B tier. The rifle really makes it for me. The pistol is really good too. You don't get a whole bunch of stuff with this one, which is the only downside, but the stuff you do get is pretty cool. And then we have the latest Warbond, which is the Force of Law, which this one I'd probably also throw into like, I mean, right now it's probably like A tier, but overall I'd probably say like B to A tier once things get settled, because things are bugged right now. Particularly stuns are bugged at the moment. And if you're playing in multiplayer, the stun effect stacks by itself on everything and everyone. So it's better than what it should be. And that makes it kind of hard to assess this one. But let's begin. This one is the Judge Dredd / kind of RoboCop inspired one. Either way, we got the new armor here, which has the ballistic padding. This one's like half extra padding and half fortify, which is good. That's pretty nice. Bleed resist is cool unless you're running the health booster, in which case then that doesn't matter because that already takes care of that. The assault rifle, the pacifier here, is kind of interesting. I've heard a lot of conflicting opinions on this one because it doesn't do very much damage per shot. It does like 50 damage per shot, but it does have medium armor pen, which is good for an assault rifle. It holds 40 rounds as well. It shoots fairly quick. The reload is bugged at the moment to where it doesn't reload as fast as it should, because you can kind of see that where your person will drop the mag, put a new one in, and charge the gun. But then like it almost seems like the charging handle is stuck there for a second before it moves forward, because you kind of see that with your person's animation, and it shouldn't be that. It should be a lot quicker than that. That part's kind of weird. I'm seeing it a lot recently, but that's because the Warbond just came out, so a lot of people are using it. Overall, I think I'm liking it more so than I'm disliking it. I don't know if it would be like one of the best assault rifles though, because realistically speaking, I'd probably rather have something like the Adjudicator over this, where the Adjudicator does nearly double the amount of damage, and I can just shoot it pretty much just as quickly. We also got the stun pod booster. I tried this one out a bit. It's more of a meme than anything. It's similar to like the Hellfire pods. It's not going to kill you as often as Hellfire pods, so I guess it's better in that regard. But it's really difficult to actually get it to give you any value, since if you come crashing down on something with the Hell pod, you're probably going to kill it or heavily damage it. and the stun might not matter at that point, as well as stunning multiple things with that can be a bit difficult. We also have the de-escalator, the grenade launcher, which I don't even know if this is... Nah, we don't even have a video for it. De-escalator is really, really powerful at the moment, but that's because stuns are kind of bugged, where this one has electricity plus stun, and like right now you can kill basically everything with it super quick. I don't think that's intended, and I don't think that's going to stay, so I think this one is going to get weaker, so I can't really say how great this one is at the moment. It can't close up bug tunnels or bot factories, but it can kill like chargers and titans and crowds really, really fast. I haven't used the Urchin yet, but I have watched quite a few people use it, and it seems like it's more of a sticky bomb version of like the stun grenades, which is kind of cool, but that seems to be it. It is bugged, and it's better at stunning than what it should be because of the stuns, so I don't know how great this one actually is. Even if I did get to use it, I don't think I'd be able to tell right away how great this one actually is. And then the guard dog I've seen be pretty bad for the most part. I was really hoping this one would be like an electric guard dog with it having like a blitzer on here. I did get to try this one out because teammates brought it, and I swiped that when there was an extra one laying around. It's pretty much like the regular guard dog, but without the amount of damage and the amount of pen that it has. And it's more just for like stunning stuff, which again, it's kind of better at the moment, but that's because things are bugged. So it's hard to assess how good this one is too. There is also the new pistol too that came with the set with the warrant, which is really cool. I do like this pistol a lot. I wasn't sure if this one would be necessarily better or worse than the Verdict, but it does feel different enough that I can see myself using both of these. Like this one is potentially 3-round burst and it locks on. The lock on is a little bit bugged at the moment though too. So it'll lock on to sort of weird things. And it also sometimes messes with other weapons where like if you go to switch the firing mode, I've noticed it also says like lock on or non-guided or guided for things like the autocannon and stuff, which just seems really weird. I do like the animations with this where the red dot sight kind of drops down and then you just have the iron sights, although they're not lined up, which is a little bit weird to me. But yeah, this one is pretty cool. It does pretty good damage, has medium armor pen on it. It feels pretty nice overall. It feels like it can kind of compete with something like the Verdict, even though this one holds more rounds overall, and you also can spam it out faster as well as it does do more damage. But yeah, still a pretty good weapon overall. So that's why I'd rate all the Warbonds. Tell me your thoughts on the Warbonds too. Which ones are your favorite? Which ones are your least favorite? Which ones would you recommend to new players? And which ones would you not? Also, how you feeling about the new Warbond? Especially if it gets fixed. Thank you guys so very much for watching this. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.